Hey everyone, this is FlyFan101 here, and I am here today to review the latest episode of Jane the Virgin. Now, I've got to ask you guys a question, and this is a sincere question, coming from, my heart and soul and everything like that. Please tell me how it is possible for this show to get masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece, because this episode was spectacular. I am legitimately wondering how on earth they do it. Like every single time they do it, like, we end up with a masterpiece. Like, how is it possible? I legitimately don't know how it's possible. But, you know what? I know why it's possible. Because this is just a great show. It's just a great show with great talent behind it on all fronts. That's why it's getting masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece. But, let me get into the episode. So, we start off with Jane, obviously. And, she's at the job. And she basically, he gets this letter saying how much she's going to get paid for the book that she showcased at the place earlier where she read the book to everybody. And the total ended up being $50,000. However, there was a big complication with that, because after she heard this news, she went straight to her job, and she was basically saying, "Look, I quit. You're a horrible boss. I'm glad to be leaving. Goodbye." That's basically what she said. And oh man, that was a great moment. But this later on turned into a bad thing, because Jane discovers that she's not getting paid $50,000 right away. She's actually getting paid $5,000 for each time a piece of the book gets done. And then she realizes that, she has to get a job back. And I thought that was pretty good. There were many times throughout the episode where Jane would have these panic attacks every time she was reminded of Michael in some way. And it mainly had to do with Michael's cop partner. And I found it hilarious, because almost every scene where Jane and him are in frame, Jane always slaps him in the face. That was hilarious. I really liked that. I was laughing every time. But yeah, I found that to be pretty funny. And also, for a brief time, we do get to see a little bit of Michael's funeral. It's not a lot. We don't get to see a lot, but we do get to see his funeral, and I'm glad they put that in there, because we have been asking for it on the show for ever since chapter 55. And wait, no, chapter 54. Sorry. It was chapter 54. We've been asking for it ever since the end of chapter 54. And I'm glad they gave that to us. So, yeah. Another plot element that was in here that I really liked was the fact that Petra and Raphael, sorry, I forgot his name for a second. What the heck? That Raphael and Petra are still trying to deal with this situation with Scott's body being dug into the ground, basically. And we find out that it's not actually on the Marbella side. It's actually on, the competitor's side where Scott is. But the only problem with that is later in the episode we find out that some shady stuff has been going on with Michael and Petra, because not only have they been working out deals with some shady people, but Michael hired someone from that he knew from prison to work at the Marbella, which is now a children's play center. Like he hired him to basically work there. And the biggest shocker to me was that Petra, being the maniacal person that she is, had the audacity to move Scott's... Did I just say Scott? Oh wait, that is his name. Wow. He had the audacity to move his skeleton from the Marbella side to, the other side. And I was just like, wow, she really is maniacal. And I could not expect any less, because I see her as a maniacal character. I know a lot of people that watch this show do as well, but that's just my personal preference. So yeah. Anywho, we also follow Rogelio, and he basically gets caught in a knot as well, because we find out that when he said in the last episode that he did not know anything about them trying to make out Jane's mom as being like this evil character on the show, we found out that he actually lied, and one of the execs said that let's do it just once, the show's ratings will go up at an exponential rate. Come on, let's do it just once. And he's like, fine, just this once. And so that means that he lied to everyone. And Jane's mom is basically not having this. She's like, get out of my house. I don't want to talk to you anymore. And throughout the entire episode, he's basically trying to apologize for what he did. And, I know Jane herself did forgive him, I think. But as for Jane's mom and Abuela, I don't think they did. I know Jane's mom is definitely not going to forgive him. But, again, it's just my personal preference. So yeah, the last plot point I'm going to talk about is with the man that I was bringing up earlier, Michael's partner cop friend. Now, this dude made me angry because he had the audacity not only to while Jane was still grieving over Michael's death, not only did this dude have the audacity to go to her house and pretend like he was comforting her, but instead he was going to, take pictures and everything. But sorry, I had to cut the camera real quick. But anyway, like I was saying, not only do you have the audacity to do all that stuff and take pictures of Michael's belongings, but he had the audacity to just lie to Jane and pretend that he was going to comfort her. And that really that really made me angry, and I'm glad he got slapped in the face a couple times by Jane, because that dude deserved it. And also I got mad when, you know, he punched Jane in the face while they were boxing. And she basically fell. That, like, that made me angry too. I'm not gonna lie. At that moment, I wanted to just go through the television. I wanted to defy all physics. I wanted to jump through the television and punch him in the face myself. That's what I wanted to do at that moment. But, you know, that would be defining all law. That would be breaking all the laws of physics. So, you know, that's literally impossible. And if it was possible, I definitely would have done it. Definitely. But overall, this episode was absolute brilliance. I don't understand how this show keeps getting better and better after every episode, or should I say every chapter. But it is absolutely amazing how this show could have so many good episodes. And I don't think, from the time I first started watching this show to now, I don't think I've ever seen one bad episode from this show. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. And that's a real accomplishment in my book. So, once again, for the first time since chapter 55, I'm going to give this episode an 11 out of 10. This episode was absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, I just love this show so much. I love this show so much. At this point, I've said it so many times that I am running out of ways to say it. This show is phenomenal, and I love every episode of it. And I cannot wait for chapter 57. So, let me know in the comments down below, how did you feel about this episode? And I am SpideyFan101 saying peace.